What is unschooling? A special thanks to Yao for supporting my work. Check out their Win at the Door program where you can get paid to do outreach at yaliberty.org/FA. And thanks to brainchildengineering.com, where you can build and launch your invention. Unschooling is an educational practice of helping children foster their natural interests and skills through self-direction, with adults acting as facilitators instead of judges. Unschooling is rooted in the ethos that young people are already curious about the world and wish to learn through exploration and play. Unlike compulsory schooling, that is, school where young people are forced to a one-size-fits-all progression, like with public school, unschooling does not have a forced regimen of topics. Rather, children brought up in an unschooling environment are free to choose their learning within other healthy boundaries set by parents. Adults act as facilitators for unschooling by being a resource for questions and opportunities. This can take place in a variety of contexts, from homeschooling to decentralized learning cooperatives to formal self-directed learning centers. With homeschooling, parents can offer children learning tools and experiences, from offering books to playing games, to suggesting field trips to go on at places like aquariums, zoos, museums, and sporting events. In this way, a parent actively seeks to show children what is possible and helps them learn through engagement in the real world. When children can choose what they wish to engage with, they are much more likely to practice fundamental skills because the skills are tied to something they are interested in. For example, if a child wishes to play a game that involves counting, a parent can help a child understand arithmetic fundamentals through play. Parents can also help their children learn to read and write by reading with children and practicing penmanship with them. Whatever it is, when parents act as enthusiastic helpers, children respond with their natural curiosity and learn deeply because the learning is tied to their interests. And because the learning is not graded on a running record, children do not feel as ashamed when they make mistakes. In compulsory schooling, grades are put onto children to label and stigmatize them for sorting, from sorting by grade level to sorting by honors admissions. This practice leads to young people feeling ashamed of themselves, especially so because grades are forced onto them regardless of what's going on in their lives and their developmental ability to conform to the dictates of state bureaucrats. Unschooling upends that incessant fear-based labeling and instead substitutes in learning without labels so that children can feel comfortable about making mistakes. If this topic is new to you, you might have some reflexive questions popping up in your mind already, like, but how will kids stay motivated? But how will they get into college? But how can they show knowledge if learning has no concrete curriculum? These questions often come up because the compulsory schooling paradigm has gotten so many to believe that learning only takes place in a classroom, even though people are aware that they continue to learn new things after they leave high school and college. If you want to get a sense of how unschooling takes place in practice, look at the example of a real, long-standing, self-directed learning center, the Sudbury Valley School in Framingham, Massachusetts. Since 1968, students there ranging in ages from 4 to 19 have enjoyed educational freedom on a beautiful campus that includes a kitchen, music room, arts and crafts room, and an outdoor space. Just like anyone going to a regular public school, the students graduate to a variety of endeavors, from working a job right after graduation to attending top-tier colleges and universities. These kids can do so because they take on apprenticeships, create portfolios, and study for entrance exams at the point they're interested in developing their knowledge for a certain end, whether it's for a job or for college. Self-directed learning does not mean that there are never any textbooks, formal classes, or boundaries. Rather, it means that a child has the choice to use the textbook as desired, a choice to enroll in a formal class if desired, and the responsibility of respecting others' property rights boundaries in their learning. Exiting the compulsory schooling paradigm is one of the most difficult psychological practices because of how long the programming lasts for. It's hard to imagine what life could be like otherwise when someone has just spent 13 years in compulsory schooling, possibly followed with another 4 or 5 in a college that in many ways mirrored public school. If you want to learn more how unschooling can work with your family, I highly recommend you get the book Unschooled, Raising Curious, Well-Educated Children Outside the Conventional Classroom by Carrie McDonald. A link to this book is in the video description. Reading Unschooled will help you understand the practices in depth and show you how children can be successful. You can also check out the Honest Teacher page for more questions and answers on self-directed learning practices. Let's create a future where young people feel supported in their learning and valued in their autonomy. Thank you for watching and supporting my work. And a special thank you to all of my producers: Agorist Nexus, BrainchildEngineering.com, IronAgeArchive.com, Crawford K. McDonald of VCM Real Estate, Zach Lukowski, Young Americans for Liberty, and Beto Destrafa. Help me produce more quality content and receive special perks for your monthly support by joining my Patreon, Subscribestar, or Float pages. Check out my latest events at thevents.com and grab some great merch at treesofliberty.org. See you soon!
Yes, freeze!